He loves blessing people. He loves giving chizuk to people. He's just a a fishy, swishy, yum person. He is awesome.
No. Guy walks into my program. He says, what do I have to do? I say, nothing. It's on us.
I think of the king of delegation. And it's just willing to take the risks.
So on one side of me, the guy's selling Swarovski crystals. The other side of me, the guy's selling Persian rugs from wherever. And here I am selling popcorn.
Even Shmueli Ungar I didn't like. Yeah. I thought that if only my name was Mechul Schnitzler. It's like a name. Everybody, it's good. It's a singer.
Those who follow my staff will know that we are seeing very clear signs, without a shadow of a doubt, that we're on the cusp. Right? We're in the transition phase from before Mashiach.
None of your business, Oshi. None of your business, Michael.
It's the None of Your Business podcast, hosted by Michael and Oshi.
Welcome back, everybody, to another amazing episode of the None of Your Business podcast, where we are celebrating 60. Thank you again to our Prime Source production team and to all of our listeners worldwide. We've reached 10,000 listeners in 60 episodes. What a feat. What an amazing accomplishment. And today we are featuring some of our highlighted moments based on our comments that were made by listeners like you. So thank you all. And we're going to start off with Mendy Worch. Mendy, when you think yum yum, you think Mendy. And today we're going to feature the part where we talk about confidence and small wins reaching to big goals in life. Take a listen.
Success is not something that you reach. Success is a compilation of small acts. It's small wins leads to success. No one has ever reached a pinnacle where they go, I made it, I'm done. I mean, maybe some people do, but that's called giving up in the middle of the journey. There's always more to do. There's always more to conquer. So there's always something that's out of reach, and there's always something that you know you're capable of doing. And I think tapping into what you know you could do and understanding why you're feeling this lack of confidence can help give somebody confidence.
Yeah.
You know,
It's very important. When we hire new sales reps here, the first thing we do, we spend months just on this, is to build their confidence. Yeah. They don't know a lot yet. They don't have a lot of the substance of the material.
Yeah.
But the first thing I want to build them up is that a lot of times, even if it's unwarranted confidence,
right,
doesn't matter. It's okay.
Right.
First, be confident, because when you lack confidence, everything else is very, very difficult. Yeah. It's an uphill battle. The people that walk into the room and they feel like they're going to get it done, they typically do get it done.
Yeah.
Because they come in with that attitude. It's all a mindset.
Yeah, and not to interrupt you, but I'll tell you something else. I think giving someone without confidence is easier than finding that guy who's overconfident, stinks at what he's doing,
right,
and now helping him dial it back.
Humbling him.
Yes.
Dialing it back for his own benefit.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes he's his own worst enemy, right? He's his reason for failures because he's too confident. He's not prepared enough. He believes that he could do it without, like, he's too nonchalant about it. He's too, so confidence you can give somebody confidence just by pumping them up, just by saying, you got this. You're giving them a form of confidence, but helping someone dial it back and being like, hey, this is serious. You
right.
got to prepare for this.
You got to slow it down, man.
You got to slow your roll. Sometimes that's much harder to do.
Harder.
So yeah, you can definitely give people confidence, and some people will always struggle with that. And there's a deeper issue, right? There's a deep. It's not the confidence in the thing. It's a deeper issue of why they're always doubting themselves.
Yeah. You know, I just met you for the first time. And
right.
It's a real pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying watching the two of you.
Have you never met Mendy before?
No, never met Mendy.
Wow.
But I do know you from your music, and I know you from your passion. I know you from your partnership with the Blumstein brothers.
Yeah.
And all the things that you're doing, how you slap stickers on people's walls. But I have to ask you. Speaking of this confidence and your journey, right? Last year I went to Kerestier. It was the first time, and
yard site in 2 days.
Yes.
100th yard site.
Well,
Gimel Ear.
I'm not sure when this is going to be.
You know how I know it's
released,
Gimel
but the
Ear?
yard site coming up.
Yeah.
I know it's Gimel Ear from your song. Gimel Ear.
Kerestier.
That's how I know.
That's
It
actually
was
what I was
worth
about
putting out that
sticks
song
in my
just
head
for you.
because of that.
So I was about to say that. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going to say. When I pulled in, I was looking for a song on Spotify for Kerestier. I just didn't. I wanted to know if there's something out there. I'm looking, and suddenly I didn't even know how to spell Kerestier.
Right.
But then boom, your song came up, and I put it on as I'm driving into the town.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful town, by the way. One of the most beautiful experiences
The
I've ever had.
vineyards. It's
Oh
like,
my God, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
But that was, I think, in 2016 or 17 when you came out with that song, right? And then
16, I think.
right, and that was your own little thing that you did.
That's right.
And then I think a year or two later, you had a collab with someone. right? Shalom Baruch or something.
Baruch Shalom
Baruch Shalom.
Belsovsky.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, which song?
And then there was like a break for like
Interruption.
Yeah.
Baruch Shalom and I wrote Karastir together. So we actually wrote 4 or 5 songs in the really early days. I didn't record any songs yet, and I wanted to. And he was a good friend. Also starting out, he's very, very musical. I loved his Hergish and his songs. Like his compositions had like an MBD-esque, like old school, those warm, familiar, what we call tenias, like those movements, those chords. And we sat a couple nights in the summer, took a keyboard, and we wrote a bunch of songs. So,
but I'm just curious, how many songs have you composed that have not been released?
Hundreds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
We're all capable of so much more than what we're doing because we never give it a shot or never really put our mind to it. And I think that the magic is being empowered and getting excited, be like, wow, if I could only do X, Y, and Z, then my life changes in such a tangible way. So then just go and do it. At least try it.
Like you said earlier, by the way, which is resonating a lot with me, is those little wins is what builds the confidence. So you take the guitar, you go on YouTube, you learn C, E, F, G, A, and then you're like, you have a little win, and then you start building your own confidence.
That's it. And that now I'm 2 weeks in, and I'm playing these chords that I learned, and like I'm not hitting the strings right, and the vibrato on it's a cheap guitar, and my strums are out of rhythm, but nonetheless, there's like, hey, I just wrote a new song on this guitar. Hey, I'm feeling something when I move from this chord to this chord. That's so awesome, and you get lost in it. You know, playing the piano is one thing, and it puts you in like one box. But playing the guitar it's a Spanish feel, and it's an acoustic feel, and it's just so playing around with different elements brings different things out of you, and it was a huge eye-opening moment for me. So I'm sitting there at the CM, and I'm playing this guitar, and who walks in? Rabbi Ungar. He's the great Rabbi Ungar. He should be gesund and stark. He is. Shout out to him. I think he's the Baal Shem Tov of this generation to the extent where he loves every single Jew. I've seen it. He's consistent, whether it's in Brooklyn at a shul or upstate in a shul or you catch him on the street. He loves blessing people. He loves giving chizik to people. He is just a fishy, swishy, yum person. He is awesome. Hashem should bench him with tremendous chizik, strength, koyach, and many, many more years to be mechazik klal Yisrael. He's a special person.
I received one of those blessings, by the way.
Yes,
very special.
Yes. So because he means it. When he blesses, he means it. And it's not just it's like 30 seconds.
No, it's for you.
Golden at end of golden a kite and golden at this. He has like the same, like he has a nusach, and every person gets the same bracha. So he's awesome. So for those that don't know, he was I think like a first grade teacher or Kitta Allah, whatever, it was a kindergarten or whatever it was in a school. I think it was Chai in Berlin. I'm not sure, but thousands of students. And he was like a first grade Rebbe for 20, 30 years. And every year, Parshas Noach, he had this song. Noach is a big tzaddik from his Keppele.
Oh, he made this song?
His Keppele. Noach was a big tzaddik. Didn't have a hard part. It was just that and repeat. Noach was a big tzaddik. And he came into the CM. I'm on the guitar with a band, and everyone's dancing. And he walks in towards the end of the night, and somebody, my good friend Dovi Isakovich, big shout out because everything came through that moment. He comes and whispers in my ear, sing the Noach is a big tzaddik song. Now, I'm up there. I'm very proud of myself. I'm holding my guitar. I'm a real singer, and I have a band here, and I was hired for this job, and I'm not in the mood of singing his kindergarten little riff of Keppele to the Fisa. I'm just not, I didn't think it was appropriate. Shows how much we know, right? So, but then I tell myself, stop it, Mendy. Just, who cares? Just do it. It'll make people happy. So the Rebbe's already leaving, and I start, Noach is a big tzaddik. He turns around. The place goes wild because it's an uncommon song, and everybody knows it, and it's the Rebbe's song, and it's lighthearted, and it's got all the good feelings. And I'm singing it, and the Rebbe's on the chair, and he's waving his hands, and everyone's jumping, and it's like a lit moment. And I didn't want to end it because the room was so hot. So I'm singing from Miss Keppele, big tzaddik, and I'm going back, Naya. And I don't know, it's actually on video. This moment's on video. Somebody was videoing it, and just the melody the high part melody popped into my head live while I was yeah 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 nine 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 nine, and I didn't have words. So I was like, the Rebbe is a big tzaddik, and then the guy made the scene was Akiva. Akiva is a big tzaddik, and then from his kappa. And it was over. Night was over. Great. The next day, I get a call from my good friends Eli Malach Bloomstein and Ari Bloomstein. Shout out to the holiest Yidden of all time. And Eli Malach says, Mendy, we saw this clip someone posted on WhatsApp status of this amazing song. Every is a big tzaddik, and we wanna do the song. Your success can come from the least obvious place, and sometimes you just need to be in the right place at the right time and take a risk, and that's called trusting Hashem. You know, seeing, oh, here's an opportunity. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And how many times do we overthink everything? We overthink everything. That's what Hashem gave us, this gift of this brain. We're the only species with this brain to think, but it could be a detriment. All you do is overthink things and you get nothing done.
Right.
So learning to like think about it, make a quick judgment call. I think Elon Musk says, if you want to be a great CEO, you got to be decisive and quick with your executive decisions, because there's always the flip side of a thought or
You
an
can talk
idea
yourself out of it all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
So if you feel like, this is a good move, be decisive
Yeah.
and then ignore the chatter. Just
Right.
blinders on and just
And
get
you're right
through
where
it.
I wanted to talk about, because you had, again, I didn't know you at the time, and I didn't even recognize your name then. I just knew it was a good song, and then I heard the other song, King or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it's called. And then for a number of years, I didn't hear your name.
Right.
And then you had something with the rabbi in upstate New York.
Right.
And then the
Rabbi
Bloomstein-
Ungar.
Rabbi Ungar, who's an unbelievable Jew, by the way.
The best.
That shul's amazing. They have hats on the wall for you to
Yeah.
take and gartels. It's just such a welcoming place. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. I snuck into his siddur just to see how many names he davens for. That
Like
guy.
a Post-it factory. It's amazing.
Unbelievable. That guy.
Unbelievable.
That guy's
He's
very, very unique. And that's when, boom, every year the big tzaddik came out and said, I'm just curious what happened during those years. Where were you? What was going on? We're talking about confidence. We're talking about you being out there. Now that I know your music and it's playing in my home and it's like, Shabbos comes in, I have good Shabbos coming up, and, the tzaddik thing.
Yeah.
Just, if you don't mind, take me there.
Don't mind. It's something I think about all the time. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer answer. We'll try to cover a lot of the
That's okay.
topics,
That's
but,
all right.
So I always sang. I never thought I had a great voice. Certainly not like one of those stellar, pure, angelic voices. But I always knew that I could be authentic. And authenticity is not something you could fake, but I felt music. I didn't just hear music, I felt it. I feel like I'm a very emotional person, and I'm in tune to emotions, and that's probably what makes me able to be humorous if I want to be humorous, or serious, or it's being able to read a room and read people, and I'm very sensitive to the vibes. And music makes me feel a certain way, and I always knew that I could be authentic. I loved singing, but I never saw it as a career, or like I didn't want to be just another singer. I wanted to be a little different. I wanted my music to have showcase a little bit of my funny side, my creative side, have a message was very important. I didn't want to just sing a pasuk. I wanted to come out there and say something, but Jewish music is shrouded with taboos. There are circles that won't listen to other Jewish singers because that's too much out of their comfort zone. There are styles that are resonating in some places that don't, just to throw a name like Yehuda. Remember growing up in the 90s? Yehuda, Moedim, Anachnu Lach, right? He resonated and was awesome with a certain sect. And then there were Jews that never heard of him. So he just popped in my head just to use one. So I always wanted to do music that was like universal and broke those boundaries. It's easier said than done, but I always wanted to do songs about subjects. So my family was always close to Reb Shaila Kerestir. My great-great-great-grandfather lived a mile away from Kerestir. We were very close. We were going to Kerestir before it became fashionable. So it was just 1 year, and coming home from the yard site, there were like maybe 200 people total there. Today you have thousands of people, you know. So we were coming home, and I just wanted to write a song about Reb Shaila, and I did it more for like me and my family. I went to the great lyricist Mendy Worch, who is a Hasidic. Today he sings and he's an artist and very talented, but at that time he was a batrin. He wrote me the words. I would give him, he didn't even know too much about Karistir. And I told him like certain stories or different words that I wanted, and he came back like a day later with those lyrics. It was like, wow.
Next up, we have Shmueli Ungar. Shmueli shares with us the value of mentorship, and take a listen to the mentorship that he had from his grandfather that brought him to who he is today.
Take jobs.
Take jobs. You get an offer for $200. Go sing.
Don't
And
worry
I'll
about
talk-
how much money it
Yeah.
is. First, get users,
Yeah.
get followers.
Yeah.
Start building your brand.
Yeah.
Smart guy, your grandfather.
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah. Sounds,
But at this-
is he still alive?
No, he passed away a few years ago.
But he got to see you in your prime,
Yes,
right?
yes,
he got to
for
really
sure.
enjoy the
Yes.
successes that you were
Yes,
enjoying.
yes.
He got to see it, and he must have felt very proud.
I
He
think
must have been
did.
super proud because he was a part of your journey from the
Yes.
beginning.
And he believed in me. And all the other cousins, one was a chef, one was a drummer, and nobody felt like Zayda didn't give me any startup money. Why was he better? So yeah, he definitely gave me.
So
a
he created
start.
some politics also. Good old
Always
family
told,
politics.
talk to Zayda. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't do
He
anything.
probably also picked up on your talent.
Yes.
Ultimately.
And yeah, this is a big part. He wanted to be. He
Yeah.
saw the talent, and
Yeah.
also my father wasn't alive. My father was his oldest, and it was a kind of a way, you know. He took me in, and he raised me kind of.
Interesting.
But at the point when he said "Nembus Megitter," like whatever take, it was already maybe a year or two that I felt I put in a lot of work in these takuna chasanas, and I felt I told him Zaidi, 450. This is the bottom. I can't do a wedding. I'm not going out of my house less than 450. And that's what I said. No, but you said you love my Zaidi, but I think that my way
you, by the way,
is
good
the better
for you.
way.
You
He's
created
setting a new standard. Yeah.
Yes. It happens to everyone, but it happens to everyone.
So and
As
so we
far as
had.
the career-
By the way, the old adage: if you're good at something, never do it for free. Right? Never do it for free. It's your right. This is your talent. Don't just give it away.
100%.
You have a minimum. You want me to get out of bed. You want me to go work for you. This is what I charge.
I'm
you.
curious,
This-
was it at that point that you knew it's going to be a career, or
No, I want to say HELL no, but a big no. Wow, you nuts?
HELL.
continue?
I did like 4 years where I was just spine-blit. I was spitting blood.
You were sweating it out.
Really. I didn't have these fancy bands. I had the cheapest musicians. All of them are great, good
Yeah.
people.
How were you getting income besides this? Then you were,
I didn't need income. I was a bucher. I didn't do it
Yeah.
for the income. I did it
Yeah.
for the fun. I love to do it, and I
He
started
was
doing
hustling.
it.
He was
I
Yeah.
get it. At that age, of course, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I had no idea that it
Instead of
can turn
washing
into-
cars for $100, you're singing and getting $450.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 450
you.
a gig. Other than that, I'm
Yeah,
not
so
sure.
I started 450, then it got to 550, 750, and then it got to 11. And then when I went from 11 to 14, that's when a big change happened. I had my then producer, my musical producer, Naftali Schnitzler, he came into my life. And he told me to up the price, and he was a big producer. So just being in his avid, in his
space.
atmosphere, gave me courage, gave me confidence, just made me feel good. And he started telling me, Shmueli, that's when I changed my name. I was named Shmuel David. And it wasn't then, it was maybe a little bit earlier that I made it. When I made the business cards, maybe I wrote Shmueli. I wrote Shmueli. But I felt Shmuel David Ungar is very rebbish. I didn't like it. Even Shmueli Ungar I didn't like. I thought if only my name was Mechul Schnitzler. It's like a name. Everybody, it's good. It's a singer. Or Lipa Schmelzer. Shmueli Ungar is like so foreign. It's like maybe Shlomi Toisig. That's what I looked at it.
And
It's like
all these names
rebbish.
sound the same to me. But I hear what you're saying. Okay.
So I changed my name. I also changed my hat. I used to wear a Stoffen hit. You know the different hats the Satmar wear. Anyway, it's the whole thing.
You know what a Stoffen hit
No,
is?
guys.
You know?
Sure. I know. I'm worth whatever people are willing to pay.
Exactly. That's what Naftali Schnitzer realized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's what you're worth.
But this
you
guy
set the
fully-
market price based on what people are
Yeah,
willing to pay.
based on
The
what
market
people
will tell you
the
when you get too
market
much.
exactly.
The
I
market
can
will
price myself out of business.
Yes.
The market will decide.
Right.
But he felt threatened. Instead of like feeling this new guy is upping the price. We're gonna push up the price. Let's do this.
You could help the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not only is this, you asked before if I can make a living. So at this point in life, I'm divorced. I don't have much expenses. I'm working with this guy, Naftali Schnitzler. Currently, he's working with Barry Weber, with Yoli Greenfeld, maybe with Lipa Schmelzer. He's working with other guys, and he's telling those guys for Barry Weber, Beatty, you're charging only $1,200. You got to go up to 18. You got to push it. And Beatty and Greenfield, they have families. They say, I'm very happy. This is what people are giving me. And the price for a wedding singer for many, many years was the price between $800 and $1,500. That's what the number. Mechus Nisler was 18. It was a big deal. And maybe Shlomi Daskal was 25. He was the Medina singer.
Lipa Schmelzer.
Lipa Schmelzer, yeah,
He was
a
also on
star.
the higher end,
Yes,
no?
yes. It was the
but what he's
Osnams.
identifying is then the higher end was 2,500. Meaning,
Yeah.
the market has changed, which
Drastic.
I'm sure
Lot, yeah.
we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get there. So I didn't have what to lose, and I'm paying this Naftali Schnitzler for helping me. I figure if he's gonna give me advice, I'm gonna take it. And he told me to go to 14, and 6 months later, I'm going to 18, and the calendar is just booked, jam-packed. I'm working every night.
Every night?
Every night.
So you work Sunday to Thursday?
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I was never the singer who sings. Tali Goldi would sing every night. Tzruli Verdige sings every night. Shi Berko, they sing every night. Even in my hottest times, I was singing. I could do 3 or 4 weddings a night, on and on and on.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Doesn't take a toll on your voice?
It did, but like
Because you're singing
now
for
I'm
4 or
not doing
5
it.
hours also.
Yeah, no, it's like
Or
3
not?
hours, but I take a lot of breaks. The musician takes solos, and sometimes you have choir, so the choir takes away. Now I'm not singing 5 nights a week. I mean, it can happen in June. If I would get booked, I would do 5 nights, but it's not so often. If I do 2 weddings a week, average is nice. It's easy. The money is even more than I would do 5 weddings back then. So I have more time. It's a different ball game altogether. But back then, I'm starting out and I'm going to 18 and to 25, and everybody. I was a member in the Shira choir, and I had my peers. How do you call it? The people working with me.
Your colleagues.
My colleagues, yes, and we were friends, and I'm charging money for singing, and then I'm working with them, backing different singers. So it became like kind of a friction. They wanted to be my friend, but behind my back they were saying, "Who's this guy? Who do you think he is? Yeah, he's one day he's gonna come." Like all these things, but in front of me they're my friend.
Of course.
Yeah, but they want to be my friend, and it's good. And
Politics ensued.
This part
What do you know?
This part I'm going to admit it was probably true. Like that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't perceived that way.
This wasn't
And unfortunately
anxiety.
it was
This was-
reality.
this was the real life.
Yeah, that's
They
when the
also,
zealousness comes out and
yeah, and they also wanted to figure out where they're standing and how they're feeling about it, and maybe can I also become a
and
solo
you just want to do
singer?
what you do. You just want to love what
I'm
you do.
just,
It's-
I'm, I'm spreading my wings and flying. That's what I'm doing.
Next up, we have Aaron Zutler from Pop Insanity. This man is insane in every sense of the word, in a positive way. I met him when he was playing guitar for Yehuda Green, and the next time we spoke was about Pop Insanity, and we learned all about growth and how it's never too late.
I read somewhere that you ended up on Oprah, and I've heard about this story before, but I just want to ask you just like candidly. I mean, how was that experience with her? And
Did you meet Oprah?
No. No. So after selling the Jewish stores and the caterers, I realized there's no way that we can sustain a livelihood. And not the kosher market's very big, and we're almost everywhere where we want to be. There's always room for improvement, and there's always new stores opening. I'm not saying that we have it all wrapped up, because we don't. There's always work to do. But my goal always was mainstream America.
Sure.
So I said, how do we do that? And I decided with my partners that we have to do trade shows and be out there. We're in Muncie. Who sees us?
Right.
Website, how do you market? So long story short, I'd say, you know what? We're going to go to a trade show in Atlanta. It's a gift show. Gift show. It's not a food show. So on one side of me, the guy's selling Swarovski crystals. The other side of me, the guy's selling Persian rugs from wherever. And here I am selling popcorn. Makes no sense. But at the end of the day, gorgeous booths, chandeliers,
Nice.
carpeting, little magician action.
It's a perfect gifting item. Yeah, for sure.
It's a gift, you know.
Yeah.
So long story short, we're selling there. We're doing our thing, and I see a guy. He's walking with a couple of women following him with notepads, and every time he makes a comment, they're taking notes or whatever. And I see he's like staring at me. I'm saying to myself, okay, it's okay. We're working the customers in the booth. All of a sudden, the guy makes his way over, and he says, "What's going on here?" I said, "I'm selling popcorn." I thought he was selling jewelry. Like, And he's eating, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And the women are eating, and he says, "Tell me something." And I really thought, like, either he was a competitor or the IRS doing an audit. How much do you make? How many of this? What's going on here? Who do you sell? Where do you buy? A million questions, and to the point where I got a little bit,
what's going on
I
here?
said, "You know what? Here's my card. After the show, feel free to give me a call and whatever." He says, "Can we talk over there for a second?" And he says to me, he says, "My name is so-and-so, and I am," and he gave me his title. And he said, "I think this would be very interesting for, O." I said, "What's O?" He says, "What do you mean, what's O? You never heard of Oprah?" I said, "Of course I heard of Oprah, but I don't know what O is." He goes, "That's her magazine." "Oh, I didn't know that." "Yeah, that's cool." I look all over the United States for products for her list. "What list?" He says, "So you live under a rock?" Like,
Yeah.
I said, "What do you want from two Jewish guys from Brooklyn? What about?"
Oprah's favorite things, as if you would know.
And he says, "No," and he
Not in the Mishpacha magazine.
Right.
What do you want
and
from
he was very nice, and he explained, what it is. And, Yankee's like thinking, okay, this guy probably went downstairs to Kinko's, bought a business card, running around the show getting free samples. Like, what
Very
are the
possible.
chances?
Yeah.
Like, took his card.
This was your first trade show?
This is
One of the-
probably a year into, so there's another.
You've done trade shows.
I've
Trade
done-
shows was a
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, but I did food trade shows.
Right,
Sweets and
right.
snacks.
This was the first out of the
It was
box
yeah,
idea
this was like
of
a
trade
gift
shows.
show. Was like
Yeah.
interesting, and he said, "Okay, I think they would really like this, whatever," and took the business card. He left, and we doing the rest of our day. Come back to the hotel, Googling his name. He goes, "Isn't that the guy that just was?"
Yeah, he's real.
And he's he's real. And we said, "They got to send samples here. You got to send samples there. You got to send samples here." I said, "Yankee, worst case scenario." Yes. Worst case scenario. We'll be out some samples. Like, big deal.
Yeah.
Sell it to Chicago, send it here, send it there.
But if Oprah asks for something, you give it to her. You do not deny Oprah Winfrey.
Really?
Yes, you don't. Yes. She's a very powerful woman. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
But you asked a very, 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 not only a good question,
Just watch.
a question that means a lot to me.
Uh-huh.
And I never, do I say, "Wow, look at this," maybe, whatever. I'm more, every time, I get emotional thinking about it. Every time I walk into my plant in Jersey, and there are 20-something people working there, machines going, pallets coming, going, and I see how big this place is, I have a hard time believing it.
Wow. It's still not processed. It didn't sink in.
No,
yet.
it's processed, but I'm just so, and I see,
Grateful. You sound very grateful.
I'm very, very grateful.
Grateful. Yeah.
And when people send me pictures, "Hey, Aaron, I'm in Hawaii," and they sent me pictures of the thing, I couldn't. I don't know how else to say it.
You created a lifestyle. You created a brand. There's no question about it.
Me and my partners, I'm very thankful to the people that I work with, extremely thankful for the people that I work with. And they put a lot of hard work into it. Very often it's me and my partners that get the credit. It's not, it's our families. I missed lots of weddings. I missed lots of parties and things because the order had to get out or we needed to cook. When it's this time of year, their holiday season, we have 2 shifts and it's a lot. But just in answer to your question, it's a lot of akarsato. It's a lot of gratitude because it's, a lot of people take credit and it's not credit. Believe me when I tell you, so many things happen. I look at my partners like, how is it? If I wanted, I wouldn't even know how to reach out to Oprah to offer her product to consider. I Googled how do you get that. There are seminars that you go to that teach you how to present even if she'll open it. And this guy walked into my booth. That doesn't happen. So what am I going to say? Hoo-ha? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's Yad
Literally.
Shmaya.
Yeah, every
There's
step
no
of the
way to explain it.
Next up, we have Sony Perlman. Sony has been a mentor to me for my entire adult life. And here he talks about the power of addiction and how he is addicted to not only his spouse, but his community. And he talks about the concept of giving back to the community. And wait till you hear this analogy. It's unbelievable. Check it out.
In Shiva, you walk in, imagine you walk into a Shiva and you see a guy sitting low down on the floor and you say, get up, get a job. What's wrong with you? Go get a job. Just get a life. What are you, feeling sad for yourself? It would be the most ridiculous thing you could possibly say to the guy. We understand. The idea of Shiva is that when someone gets to a place that is so broken and so hurting, we know as a community that it's not on them to get better anymore. It's on us. We have to surround that person. People coming, it was hard for me. I sat through Shiva recently, and it was like people just kept coming and coming. They did not allow me to sit by myself for 1 second. They were like, we got you. We're holding you. You called me from a different country. Like, it was people calling, texting, there, holding. And all I wanted was everybody to go away. And, like, I could go hide in my room. Like, just when someone is broken, all they want to do is hide away and be broken. And the community says, no. Not only that, we're going to sit here in silence until you talk. We don't need you to do anything.
Oh,
you understand that?
Well, Sonny,
Sonny,
this is amazing. This is so profound because, and by the way, and go with this. Keep going with this.
What I'm saying is, when
he's listening to you listen to the Shiva rules about the so far 2 of them I heard so far. Right? Is that you have the outside people that are meant to come and comfort you by design.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to fix yourself. You mourn and let your support team rally around and let them do the job. And the second thing is that we're going to wait for you to talk first. We're not going to, because you have to help yourself a little bit as well. So you talk. We're going to sit here and support you. And these rules, it sounds like it's all about
everyone bringing them food. Why don't you tell them, go make an egg? No.
Go get a job. Go get money and buy your own food. No, we're going to bring you food.
Until you're healed. Like, so when you say, oh, does that person want to heal? I didn't want to get better during Shiva. I was just broken. I lost someone I love. I don't want to get better. I don't want to fix myself. What do? You say, if a guy doesn't want to get better, you can't fix him. No. Guy walks into my program. He says, what do I have to do? I say, nothing. It's on us. If you can't feel the love and support from us, you're not going to get better. Your whole job, if there's any job, is try to open your heart a little bit and believe that we love you. And if you could do that, we're going to push our way in and just give you so much love that you're going to be so full that you're going to want to move on to go doing the work. So the way I see it is that, explain addiction is that we have an internal self-esteem, every human being, and that's how we deal with our stuff. Our good feelings, our bad feelings, we deal with it with our internal self-esteem that makes us feel better. When that self-esteem is not strong enough, we use external self-esteem. So we use outside forces to make us feel better. When you think of an addict, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, when you think of an addict, his self-esteem is so low that it's everything he does is external self-esteem. He's using these people to make him feel better. He'll be super charming at work and he'll make everybody love him. He'll use too much cocaine. He'll use relationship addiction, sex addiction, food addiction. He might use. It's very hard to find someone who's only addicted to one thing. Everybody, it's on you. It's not on the thing. That's why it's hard to answer that question. An addict is a person who's addicted. So you'll find that cocaine works the best for you, and you'll find that gambling works the best for you. It doesn't really matter because that's the thing that you're taking from the outside to make our insides feel better. And everybody has an issue. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, when we have, like, Netflix wouldn't make any money if we weren't all addicts. I mean, we all binge watch a Netflix show, and nobody should do that. You probably should not be in anybody's life. Like you said, that guy said, my guys don't watch TV. Everybody's watching TV. I don't know what he's talking about. They're binge watching. But what's happening is we're using that to comfort ourselves. And the more we use things to comfort ourselves, the less our self-esteem works and the worse it gets. So that's how the addiction is. So to understand addiction is just that our external self-esteem is way bigger than our internal self-esteem. And everybody's on the spectrum. So if your self-esteem is at like 70%, your addiction is going to be like at 30%. So most healthy people are somewhere in that range. Like they're mostly healthy, and then sometimes they need to feel better. So they're doing things they're not proud of. They're eating too much. They got to go on diets all the time, and like regular people. Addicts have no self-esteem the way we think of addicts. They have nothing. They don't feel good. So the main feeling they're feeling is I am essentially unlovable. There's nothing about me that's lovable, and therefore I need to make myself lovable by using these outside forces.
No, what was the most like broken case that came to you that really just tore you apart?
I really have a hard time talking about cases, but I feel like I wasn't equipped.
Like you were like shocked. Like even you've seen it all. This was something that was
to
you. It was new.
I get shocked a lot. I have a case that unfortunately he passed away, so he did not. It's not one of those great stories. I have a million of those great stories, but we sat down, counted like a week before he died, and he had gone to 42 programs, and I had sent him to and paid for, and I used to call his mother and say, just take him home. He doesn't need to be in another rehab, even if he's using. He just needs his mother to say, he didn't have a father, just needs his mother to say, you're here, I love you. You got to do drugs, it's fine. But 42 different stranger programs he had to go to, and none of them told him he loved. All he wanted was his mother to say she loved him. To me, that when I tell that story, I want to, and he died. And it makes me incredibly sad. And I don't know if she would even have saved him. But he died not knowing his mother loved him. And to me, that's you want to hear a story that really tears my heart out. That's a story that really tears my heart out.
Wow.
But I have another guy that I was dealing with. I don't know if you ever dealt. No, I don't think you dealt with this case at some point. But for 15 years, everybody gave up on him, and he was a dynamic guy. So people would try and try and try. 15 years I stayed with this guy and gave him all this love. I did the Shiva house rules for 15 years, and everybody dropped off. He was one of the most difficult cases anybody's ever seen. And after 15 years, he kept coming back to me, and the same message was, I'm here for you, loving you, no matter what. If you want to do more, you just tell me, and I got you. And the whole time, he would yell at me and scream at me and harass me, and it was unbelievable. And then he said, finally, he overdosed twice in 1 week, flatlined both times. And then he called me. He said, I'm ready. And now he's years in recovery, healed. He's like got a business, a bank account, a car, a motorcycle. He's got friends. He's mentoring people. You're talking about like incredible stuff. And there's a guy who's living on the streets, like legit homeless in New York City.
Next up, we have Rabbi Lawrence Hajioff. Rabbi Lawrence talks about Mashiach and the concept of dreaming and dreaming big. Check it out.
Rabbi Lawrence, didn't you start off your career as a comedian or something? I have some sort of recollection.
I started my career. I used to make a little bit of extra money when I was at college doing stand-up comedy.
Stop it.
But I really was terrible. So I gave it up and became a rabbi instead. But I did actually...
No, tell me about that experience. I need to know. Let's jump right into it.
So there was a competition at my university that they wanted to have like Comedian of the Year, and I applied for it and had to go through rehearsals, and I got into the audition, and from that I got offered various jobs doing comedy. I had a good friend of mine called Simon, and he would drive me around to different places to do the stand-up, comedy. And I went to one location, and it was a birthday party. A guy had found me somehow, as a newspaper reporter, whatever it was, and I went this venue, and it was this guy's wife's birthday, but she was turning 90.
Wow.
So the average age, and she was young for the crowd. The average age, people in their mid-90s. And every joke I told, you could hear their false teeth like clacketing. No laughing. And my friend Simon, who was my unofficial agent, was outside, and the door was slightly open, and I could see his face, and he was crying. He couldn't breathe.
Oh my God.
At that point, I realized that I needed to find a new career. It was not going to work. I did actually go through classes, it's true, by the way, with my cousin Adrian, how to do stand-up comedy. Went to a course, the stand-up comedy course.
What'd you learn?
I'll tell you something. I can't remember everything, but there's one thing to stand out in the stand-up. See, stand-up. And what they made you do was tell jokes to the crowd, the other, students, and then they would stop laughing and they would say, now you die. You have to fall on the floor dead. I'll pretend, obviously. what was the idea? That you're going to die eventually. All comedians have to get used to failing on stage. So they didn't just prepare you to tell jokes, they prepared you to fail on stage. I will say that course was like an 8-part course, really got into my head the importance of speakers. The best speakers, which is what I do a lot of, are comedians. Because if you don't hear what they're saying, no one's going to laugh. So a lot of my speaking techniques I actually gain from watching comedians, which I love, as well, but watching stand-up and learning from them how to speak eloquently and clearly so that people can hear the punchline so they can laugh at your
I
jokes.
would love to believe. It would make me no more happier to believe in Mashiach than anything else. So for me, I'd love to hear more about this.
Let's just crunch it down.
Yeah.
First of all, you're saying, I'm going to validate it. You're right. I grew up going to very Haredi yeshivas. They don't talk about this stuff. They don't make it part of the limud thing. They'll finish the Devar Torah, and B'ezrat Hashem, right, we'll have, Beis HaMikdash, B'mhira Amen, when Mashiach comes. You're like, what? And that was the end of it, We were children, we're not so interested. Leaving aside Chabad introduced it because the Lubavitch Rebbe saw it was missing. So he made it one of the fundamental influences we need to put into our lives. I actually use the Chabad Chumash every Shabbat. It's a beautiful one, actually. And
you have to plug that more. I'm sorry. That is my favorite chumash, and it helps me get
really is
davening.
great. It really is
every single Shabbat.
What's this chumash?
There is a brown, well-known chumash, and now they have a version in blue.
Yeah.
And it's written by Chabad, and they take the story of the chumash, of the Torah, and they write it, and they have in bold the words that are being told in the Torah, but not in bold. They have the storyline.
Right, they interpolate it, which means while you're reading the English, it's not just an English translation, it's also a description, explanation, so it's a lot more readable.
Every Shabbos, when I'm listening to the Torah, instead of listening it and reading it, the Hebrew words, I'm following along with either a brown or a blue chumash given and created by Chabad. Kudos to them, and I really believe everyone should have a copy.
So leaving that aside for just a second, there is an idea which is central to Judaism, but it is a belief. It's a belief because it hasn't happened yet. Okay, although those who follow my stuff will know that we are seeing very clear signs, without a shadow of a doubt, that we're on the cusp, right? We're in the transition phase from before Mashiach to after Mashiach, but they're not just Jews, right? The Goyim, the Christians, and even the Muslims are very into this topic. Actually, if you want to understand what's happening in the Middle East today, you need to understand Iran, because they're funding all their proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, in order to attack us, and they are actually an Islamist, jihadi, messianic death cult. So they also, I know it sounds crazy, but they are also into this topic. Obviously, they're getting it wrong. So what's the Jewish view? So there's two ways to just download this topic very quickly into your brain. And that is the view of the Rambam and those who follow him. And that's more rationalistic, which is there's going to be a time when the Jewish people are going to be able to return to the land of Israel. And this is from the prophets. There's a lot written on Mashiach. There's very little written on Tchias HaMesim, resurrection of the dead. So that's another topic which is going to follow Mashiach. But Mashiach, there's a lot written on it. There's tons written on it, right? You have Nevi'im, prophets, you have Gemaras, right? Rishonim, Acharonim, everyone writes about it. So the Rambam basically says the world's going to carry on as is. Olam holech k'minhago. And the Jewish people are going to return to Israel, which we've been seeing for the past 50, 60 years and even more. And we're going to be living safely in our land with no more war, which is tough to see, but right now. And we're going to be at peace, and royalty is going to return. Mashiach is a king. Actually, Mashiach doesn't mean savior. Ask most Jewish people, even religious one, what does Mashiach mean? He's a savior. It's not what he is. Mashiach means to anoint, which is to pour something on something else to make it special. What the prophet would do, he would take oil, olive oil, put it into a horn, and he would pour it into the shape of a crown on the head of the future king. It's like Samuel did to David HaMelech, and that made him into king. That's what it means. The anointed one, the special one. The word Mashiach doesn't even refer specifically to Mashiach as we understand it, right? There are Kohanim are called Mashiach. There's a Kohen Mashiach, right? So there's many different jobs. It means a position of great leadership. So we're going to have a great leader.
By the way, you already kind of made me feel a little bit better. Like I'm, you trying to download into my brain just by that alone. I'm 1% feeling better because
Keep going.
I thought Mashiach really means, that's really what I thought. I thought Mashiach is like a savior who's going to come and is going to magic wand and is going to change the whole world and everything's going to be upended. And it's not, you're saying, no, things are going to be regular. And it's going to be an anointed king. It's going to be someone who's going to come and it's going to be a leader.
Correct.
So
more
now
realistic.
He's more realistic. It's sounding much more down to earth.
And by the way, the Rambam describes it that way. And I'm pleased you're being very honest, which I appreciate. Most people have this idea. But the idea we have of Mashiach, unfortunately, comes from Christianity, right? There's some super being who's like God, or in their case, is God. Okay, not at all. He's going to be a normal man, flesh and blood, challenges. He's going to be selected as the king of the Jewish people. We're going to return to Israel. And the third and final temple is going to be built on Rabbi, right, on Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And the Jewish people are going to return, and we're all going to live there. We're ready. It's a process. It takes time. I know we're told as soon as you wake up and Mashiach's here and everything's going to be great. That's not true.
You see, but that's what they did. They really dumbed it down to a point of it's like a fairy tale.
Which I know that you believe very much in dreams, and I know this is something that you take seriously.
Very serious.
I'd like to ask you about that.
Wow, I'm surprised you asked me that. From the questions I get asked, probably the most questions I get asked, because I'm on a lot of WhatsApp groups where they ask questions and stuff and calls and stuff. The biggest thing is Mashiach and the end of days. That's the most questions I get from people, which we'll discuss soon. But people ask me about dreams all the time. So much so, I'm not kidding you, next to my bed, on my bedside table, I have books that I'm reading at any given moment. And I have an amazing book on dreams, which I have next to me. Like this one is, I was recommended by Rabbi Tatz many years ago. He said, this is one of the best ones. So I actually referred to that. And it's helped me like understand dreams a lot more. And I put a chapter about dreams in my first book. And that gets a lot of comments. So people are very interested in it. And I get questions literally every day from people. I had a dream that I was flying. I had a dream my teeth fell out. What does that mean? I dreamt about my grandmother. I personally have a lot of, such dreams about my wife. Never dreams about her deceased grandparents. But I have been visited, whatever that means, in dreams by them. Animals, seeing people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember my dreams.
You don't remember your dreams?
No.
Ever? You
No.
never had a dream that you
Very
remember?
rarely. Maybe on occasion, I'll remember a dream for a few minutes and only parts of it. But for the most part, no, I don't remember my dreams.
When you wake up, you don't know.
And by the way, if I do remember my dream, I think nothing of it. I move on. It was just a dream. And
You've never had a dream where you've woken up in the morning and you're like, wow. You never had that before in your life?
Very rarely. And I don't think I'm alone on this. I think most people don't remember their dreams.
I don't know. I mean, I have dreams that I remember, not a lot, but I have many dreams.
After your
and then you have questions. You have follow-ups on your dream.
I mean, some of them were nerve-wracking, like, oh my God, I can't believe I just dreamt about that. Some of them are like odd, like how was I in Italy and then I was in Brooklyn? Like,
well, it's not too far because a lot of Italians in Brooklyn.
That's true, but I'm saying there are some. Yeah.
One second, have you dreamt about both your parents have passed on? I know
Yes.
your mother very well. Have they visited you in a dream ever?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Have they?
But it's happened more than once. Yes.
But that's just a
Very
manifestation
common.
of your own subconscious. That's not a real thing.
You could be that you're questioning.
Do you
dreams
believe
and
that your mother or father or somebody, deceased actually visited you?
Me personally, yeah.
You believe that
Yeah,
it was
I do believe
actually
that.
them?
No, I do believe that.
And they came and sent a message to you and they were really talking to you. And
Well, they never spoke
they
to
were
me.
a real part
They
of
don't
your
need
dream?
to speak to you, but they've been to me to dream. I get very emotional. Yeah, and now I've heard many stories of many people that have had information that's been relayed to them in dreams, especially, get ready for this, Sephardic women. When a Sephardic woman calls me up or writes me and says, I had a dream about something or someone, I listen. I take it very seriously.
Really?
Ashkenazi
Give us an
person.
example. What do you like?
Some girl told me, she came to sit with me and my wife, and she had a dream that her grandfather had told her something in a dream, and she basically investigated away and ended up becoming very, very true. And she was able to relay some information to someone else that I think you could say saved their life based upon what she heard from her grandfather, someone else in her family that she'd never spoken to for a long time. This is common. You'll be surprised how many people common.
No.
The amount of questions I
This is
get
to
on
me,
it must be.
I read this in storybooks. I read this.
There's a Gemara. The Gemara speaks about it. There's a Gemara.
I believe in the
speaks about
power
it
of
too.
dreams. I definitely do believe. I don't believe today it means as much as it used to. Or
Why would you say?
Meaning,
How do you know?
It's hard to relate to what it means. I don't believe that we have people that can have the power to translate a dream like they used to.
I had a dream. So the Gemara speaks about if you dream about seeing a snake in your dream, you would have thought it's a bad sign. It's actually a very good sign, and you're going to make money. If you dream that the snake bites you, now that is even better. It means you're going to make a lot of money. But if you dream that you kill the snake in your dream, that's already bad. It means you're going to lose your money. There's a whole Gemara on this in Berachot. So I have many people ask me these questions. So I actually dreamt that I killed the snake in my dream. I had so many people, don't kill the snake. Whatever you do, don't kill the snake in your dream. And I dreamt that I killed the snake. And soon after, I actually lost a lot of money. It's actually terrible.
Wow.
And the money loss was out of my control, like totally out of my control. It was a company that something had happened to it, which happened to invest a little bit in. Look, I can't prove it to you, But I do know that many people take it very seriously and ask me a lot of questions about stuff they see in their dreams, animals, and
My
people.
great uncle was writing a book with his dad, and his dad passed away, and they couldn't finish the book. And he was praying all year to get the answer to finish up the book. And sure enough, his father came to him in a dream, and he finished the book through the dream. And everything was recorded, and then it was brought to some very, very significant high holy rabbis in Israel, who confirmed that what he had given over was accurate.
Wow.
And it was very interesting, documented. And I'm sure a lot of these dreams are documented. Yes, especially we believe in the power of dreams.
Now, not all dreams. Some dreams are just your mind kind of processing what you saw during the day. Like sometimes I dreamt about something, but that day I saw a movie and that thing was in it. Then I take it, then it's almost a...
And finally, we have Ira Zlotowitz. Ira talks about the concept of letting go and leadership in this amazing clip. Check it out.
And I think of the king of delegation. And it's because I'm willing to take the risks. Sometimes backfired, many times. And I don't focus on the losses. I focus on the net. Bottom line, am I better off because of it? Or am I not better off because of it? So I could sit here and do a podcast now and be able to be here because they set things up that officially someone else has those questions, those answers. And I find that, I have a whole, when I train people to delegate, the concepts about it is that I tell people that no one's perfect. And at the end of the day, if you find somebody, you don't look at it, you're saving your time. So when I walked into someone who's like a control freak, he can't delegate, he can't do anything, I tell the person, if you had half your day available, how much more money would you make? So like, as a number, depending what position you're in, right? He says, I don't know, I make $200,000 more a year, $300,000 more a year. Tell the person, go out tomorrow morning and hire someone for $200,000 to be your right hand. Don't make the mistake and hire someone that's straight out of school. Of course, you're not going to trust that person. Start with the person $200,000. Well, whatever the highest, the most competent person you know, start from the top down. But the key thing is don't look at their time and their money, look at yours. So the number one reason why someone doesn't want to delegate, and this flows into why it was easier for me to adapt to AI, and some people have an issue when they view the whole AI world, is that I say, take a person that's sitting to your right of you. You would do this project. How long is it going to take you? An hour. You say, but if I delegate out to the person on my right to assist me, I'm not talking about you, take out the person on the right, they're not going to do it as good as me. It's true. They will never do it as good as you. No one will ever do it as good as you. But how long would it take you to explain them what to do? They say, it doesn't make sense. It take me 25 minutes to explain it. When I get it back, I have to edit these mistakes. I spend another 20 minutes. And then that person's spending 2 hours. So 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'll just do myself for an hour. I say, no, you make a mistake. Because you don't care about their time. You care about your time. You just went from an hour to 45 minutes and the project's perfect. Right? You edited it, you started it. Right? I guess could your assistant make a mistake you can't fix? It's like, they ask the spiritual questions, like hypothetical question. Can God create a rock so heavy he can't pick up? Right? You could fix any problem. So, but again, if the person is really competent, not the $50,000 employee. You might get that in a person at $50,000. We'll talk about that again, where AI changes the competency of a person. Is what's going to happen the next time you have a file? It'll take you 44 minutes, then 43, and before you know it, they're going to tell you, should we do the same thing the last few times? Before you know it, you're not even involved in projects anymore. And that's how you're going to grow. But most people are really scared of getting replaced. They're scared of, if this person can do it, what do you need me for? And that's really the problem. But so I started delegation. I got burnt because of it, but the greatest moves ever come because of it. When you find that right person clicks, you could grow your business, your department, and go crazy at that point. And then some people are nervous, if they know everything, they could leave me, So there's plenty of lines online about, if you don't train them, what are they worth? And, I look at it that if somebody's good enough to go on their own, I'll figure out how to make a lot more money by staying together. So I used to take a lot of pride, thank God, until I got into my head the clarity that the world is going to change in my mind. I could have been wrong at that time. People wanted to write me off at times, like, whoa, he's like losing his mind a little bit. But once I made up my mind that the future of my business is changing, and I can't stay here. My father used to use this thing all the time. Shooting a rocket ship to the moon, right? Unfortunately, I was sitting here while there's unfortunately going on in Israel. So they don't just shoot for the moon as they're straight up. The Earth rotates. The world moves. So you have to get an angle that by the time it gets there, it's going to go hit. So it's the same thing. It's like, if we're making a decision, where do I think the world and my business is going to change? Until I made that, with the exception of two people, one that I had to let go, and one that got like a baseball contract, like a $12 million signing bonus by a competitor. No broker, no successful broker ever left me. Like, the people who say they left didn't make it, or they left on the way. Successful brokers to that point. And then I had a cultural division. I think the world's going this way. If you think it's going this way, ride the wave with me. If you think it's going that way, Some people said, Ira, I think it's going this way also, but I could squeeze out another 2-3 years the old way. So, you know what I mean? That type of.
How's it going?
That's it. Now, on the other side, I thank God. I always thank God and I say now going into this market as it opens, everyone had tough years. And everyone's emunah b'tachon, went to the next level. I daven now that the emunah b'tachon I gained the last couple of years, I should stay with it for the rest of the night. You know what I mean? Like, don't fall into that.
Amen.
Amen.
How did you get into dating coaching, by the way?
It's not about getting into dating coaching. At the end of the day, it's the same. If you bring it down to the same fundamental, all things boil down to. Some people build businesses around things. I build business around people.
Sure, relationships.
So it's relationship people. It's understanding people. So
I was going to say, I talk to people about relationship building all the time, but when you deal with dating, it's a little bit different.
So I'll tell you where the correlation. There's only one. Everyone can have all different talents that Hashem gives them, and there's one thing that I'm better than anyone else at, and I'll brag about only one thing.
There you go.
Okay, what's the one thing? Because in order for you to do it, you have to. It's only because of my business nature. I only made money. I was forced into it. It's not the talent. You also have the talent. It's that I only made money when I closed. My whole career. So I have to I have to realize, is this deal going to close? And if it's not, don't take it on. Is this person going to end up closing, making money? Okay, 1 out of 6 people make it. Okay, so let me hire. If I have to make sure the ratios will go good because I have to have offices. So my whole career is only on the close. On attorney, the opposite is only based on the hour. I don't know if I could. You want me to do some research? I charge $500 an hour. 2 ends of the spectrum. So I'm trained in the art of one thing. How to not waste time. It's the only thing. Anyone could do that. But there's nothing like when you're forced. Like, you want to learn real estate? I can start teaching it to you. You can hear it. I could train you to play basketball. And I mean, with the concept. Dribble. Get into the game. Either you have it or you don't. When you have a deal on the table, it doesn't work. All of a sudden, what did you say debt service coverage meant again? Now you listen to me. What did you say each thing item works? Because now you're forced. That's all I have. So in every area of life, I realize, like, how do you cut to the chase? Like, why are you wasting time? Like, why are you going on? It's not something new there. It's about people. It's about asking questions. Sometimes people just don't want to ask the blunt questions to the thing. So at the end of the day, because when I realized if you interview everybody that gets married, right, when it's all said and done. So obviously, I spend a lot of time asking questions also. It's like I have a shidduch in my mind to come out with. Because my end of the movie is I want to sell it to your parents, so you take it public. And that's why what we're going in now. When I came to raise money in the beginning, so it was okay. It was a hype was there. The business took off. People like questions. Now it's at the end of the movie. They're seeing the business take off, and they say, "Wow, this is a good time to invest." Yeah, you come at the end of the movie. You can come in, but I plan on taking it public. That's the goal. It could blow up also. What am I doing with the money? I want to build the one Jewish app for Klal Yisrael. How come there's not one app from cradle to grave? So I did Go Daven in memory of my father. I tracked down the doctor who built it. We did Go Daven. I want to come up with a shidduch app. If you think about it, why all these campaigns? I don't want to name a company that sends you out things for your kids' yeshiva. They raise money. Why is that a business? Shouldn't it be an organization that has that built and gives it everyone for free? It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Why are the things like these foundations, these donor fund type places? That should be a Jewish. It should be part of the next generation of one Bikur Cholam. Why isn't that one app for every Bikur Cholam? Why isn't one app for Chaverim throughout the whole world? A chesed, if someone got opened up an Uber for, they should have all these different things should exist on the one route. That's my vision. My father's word is written words forever, and I want to go technologies for eternity.